Hello and welcome to City Talk, where we are talking about great things happening here in the city of Columbia. I'm your host, Leisha Utsi. We have with us today James Quint, who is the Director of Education at Historic Columbia.
Hi.
Hi, James. Thank you for joining us.
Happy to be here.
All right. And speaking of happy, you're here to tell us about something that should make a lot of people happy. It's a great celebration coming up, correct?
Yeah, we have our Jubilee Festival coming up in September this year, actually.
Okay.
Usually it's in August, but it was a little too hot last year.
All right. No problem. And we're trying to tell people in advance so they can find out the who, what, when, and where so they can be there. So why don't you tell us exactly, well, let's start off with, because sometimes people don't understand. They're like, okay, what is Jubilee? What is Jubilee and what's the purpose behind it?
Sure. This will be the 37th Annual Jubilee Festival of Heritage, and it's an African-American heritage festival that celebrates just African-American culture in the city of Columbia, and it's all focused around the Man Simon site, which has a wonderful history associated with it.
All right. So this is where to have some fun and get a history lesson all at the same time.
Absolutely. History can be fun, and we'll make it a big festival.
All right. Listen, we're going to have to use it as a hashtag, okay? Well, tell us now, you said it's in September, so what's the date and time?
The festival is September 19th from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Okay. And it's held at the Man Simon's Cottage. Exactly where is that located for some folks who may not have visited that site?
Sure. It's at 1403 Richland Street. It's between Bull and Marion.
Okay. And is there a fee to attend or is it a free event?
It's a free event, so just come, enjoy, and have fun and listen to some good music.
All right. Well, speaking of music, why don't you tell us what's going to happen that day?
Sure. Well, there are a lot of activities planned at the festival. We have a great main stage that's going to have some wonderful musical lineups. The performers from all different types, all different music genres.
Okay.
We also have tons of educational activities out there, everything from face painting and crafts to more intensive scavenger hunts and things like that. And then you get a chance to walk around the historic site. There's lots of outside signage that talks about the history of the Man Simon's family and the events and activities that took place on the site, as well as some other historical sites nearby, including the Majeska Simpkins house.
Okay. Well, it sounds like it's actually something there for the full family or for all ages.
Yeah, it's a very family-friendly event. Again, there's tons of activities for kids to participate in. There's great marketplace vendors and nonprofit community organizations that are vendors at the festival. So there's really something for everybody to participate in there.
Okay. Well, now, if you're a vendor who's listening, are you actually still taking applications? How does someone get involved if they want to be there and maybe have something as a vendor, or what process do they go through?
Sure. The Jubilee webpage at Historic Columbia's website is already up, and we're taking applications now for vendors and entertainers that are interested in performing at the festival.
Okay. Oh, so it's an open call for entertainers as well?
Yes. We still have a few spots available. So.
Okay. So that way, if you got some local talent.
Yeah, we always love having some local performers in there. We usually have a couple of mainstays each year at the festival.
Okay.
We have what are called the Jubilee choirs. There's actually 3 churches here in town that grew out of the Man Simon site, First Calvary, Second Calvary, and Zion Baptist. And so their choirs participate every year in the festival. We also have Benedict's concert choir every year at the festival.
Okay.
But then we open it up to anybody else who wants to apply to be a performer at the festival.
Well, see, I see why you're the Director of Education, because I didn't realize that, those 3 churches actually grew out of the Man Simon site.
Yeah, after the Civil War, during the Reconstruction time period, as more and more African-American focused churches were being established. And again, they needed a place to meet before the churches themselves could be built, and so that was a great spot for those churches to emerge out of.
Okay. Well, and I think a lot of times people don't realize how much history is like it surrounds the various properties that Historic Columbia maintains. They see the houses sitting there and they're like, oh, well, that's a nice, historic home, but they don't realize, I guess, a lot of the background information and a lot of the history that it's brought to our city.
Yeah, the family was first associated with the site in 1843 when Ben Delane and Celia Mann purchased the lot. They built a small house there, and then each subsequent generation of family members continued to live at that site all the way through 1970. So that's a long time period for one family to be living at the site.
Okay. And I guess, how did the idea come up to even host Jubilee or to start this tradition? Because you said this is the 37th?
Yeah, this is the 37th year for the festival.
Okay.
And people don't realize the festival's been going on for that long.
Exactly.
I have some great historic images of Drink Smalls performing at the festival many, many years ago. But when the site was first saved in 1970, it was originally a community center. And so lots of different groups met at the site and kind of really embraced this community spirit that the family was a part of for so many years. And so it was the festival just naturally kind of developed out of that. And then when the site became a museum, Historic Columbia and other community organizations wanted to keep that festival going.
Okay. All right. Well, again, sounds like you can come out, have fun, get a history lesson, hear some great music, and I take it there's some food vendors.
Oh yeah, there'll be some great food out there. So.
Okay. Well, it sounds like it's a lot of fun for the whole family. Give us again the information of the date, time, and location.
Sure. The festival is Saturday, September 19th from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. You can always find out more information on Historic Columbia's website. Just go to annual events. It's right there.
Okay.
And right now you can also download the application forms to be a vendor at the festival, whether it's a marketplace or community nonprofit vendors, a food vendor as well.
Okay.
Or you can also download the application to apply to be one of the performers on the main stage.
All right. And if someone does not have online access, is there a number they can call for information?
Absolutely. You can call our main line, which is 252-1770. And then if you dial extension 36, you get to talk to me and I'll tell you about the festival.
All right. You get to talk to the James Quint. Well, thank you so much for sharing a lot of the education and history behind the Man Summers Cottage. And I know there's a whole lot more that we can learn. So we'll have to make sure that we come out in September and encourage everybody else to join us as well.
Please do, because one of the things that we're really interested in with this festival is the house is actually closed as we're redoing the exhibits right now. And we
Okay.
want the community's input to tell us what to put back in the house. We're letting the community decide what stories we're going to tell and how the spaces are going to be used.
Okay.
We may even have a maker space in there that allows people to just kind of choose how to tell their own stories.
Okay. Well, you know what? It sounds like you're trying to involve the community as a whole to get them more involved in the process.
Which is very important to us.
Okay. Well, that is great. Thank you for being here.
Happy to.
Thanks to you and the team at Historic Columbia and for all you do to maintain the history of our city.
You're welcome.
All right. As you heard, Jubilee is coming up soon. If you'd like to be a vendor or perhaps an entertainer, reach out to James Quint at the Historic Columbia website or at his telephone number.